Hello everyone, it's the Prince, and this is my first attempt at a Fire Red Hardcore Nuzlocke. But this is what they don't tell you about the Pokemon Nuzlocke. Our rival's name is Algorithm, and if you want to help me beat the algorithm, press subscribe, and please like the video. I try to post high quality videos at least 1 to 2 times a month.
We're already off to a bad start, but it'll be fine.
On Route 1, we get a Rattata, and then a Caterpie on Route 2, naming it Pie. The early game should be insanely easy no matter what. And our first death comes to a poison on our Route 24 Mankey. Brock was insanely easy, and as stated, we're off to Route 3. We catch a Nidoran there, and the Beedrill you see was from the Viridian Forest encounter. These moves will be important later. Trust. Just trust the process. Let's not talk about this one. After beating that bummy, slummy rock, we make our way to the Fossil Nerd, where our Bulbasaur actually evolves into Ivysaur. We now take our Helix fossil we will never use, but Lord Helix is shining down upon us. Now for the second rival fight, we send out Buns the Rattata against Pidgeotto. We use a Hyper Fang, and we get a much needed critical hit to take him out. After this, we take out Blue's next Pokemon that is not Abra. I think it's also a Rattata, I forgot. After this is Charmander. We use a Hyper Fang, which takes about 60% of it. Charmander goes for Growl. Fight is so free. Free, like I said. After this is the Abra, so we take him out easy, no deaths. Easy, emphasis on easy. After this, our alpha male energy absolutely terrorizes Blue as he leaves to go wash his dirty clothes. To be fair, sorry Zubat, but I really didn't care about this Mount Moon encounter that much. After this, it's time for the second gym leader, Misty. Which you guessed it, I just spammed Vine Whip the entire time and eventually actually ended up switching to my Beedrill just for style points. Yeah, I know. I'm him. I'm gonna stop. I'll stop. Next is our rival, which is yet again pretty basic. We start off with Hyper Fang, which misses into a 2-hit KO on the next. I do some weird pivoting to get Leech Seed off and barely squeak by without any casualties. After this is the Charmeleon, which is the last Pokemon of Blues. And we're gonna do a little bit of switching, which for first we switch over to Pie, Butterfree. And we go ahead and we try and put it to sleep after a long bit of thought. After this, we bring in our Diglett, in which I actually had to bring out a damage calculator for this and start calcing, which is on Pokemon Showdown, by the way. And we go for the Magnitude, which kills, thankfully. I mean, we could have been helped by a sleep turn, but if that didn't kill, we were gonna lose our Diglett there. And that's the rival fight, deathless again. Hey, things are looking up, I guess. Next was Surge, which, what do you want me to say? We just sweeped him with Diglett again, which Diglett is putting in the work right now, bro. But yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say. Here, we get our gym badge and we go. Next, we catch a Spearow, who will actually be putting in some work this run. So, remember when I was talking about Diglett? Yeah. Our Route 9 encounter is Ekans. I almost forgot the name of it, my fault. And our Celadon City encounter is Eevee, which you'll see what we evolve this into later. Just keep watching. Also, I just want to say this name that I gave it, I think, is quite peak. Right? Come on. Somebody agrees with me in the comments, right? Now this is our first encounter with Giovanni, which our first two Pokemon is just Razor Leaf spam, but then comes out the Kangaskhan. This is a threat. We bring in Graveler, which I have a new fond appreciative of after using it in this run. Then we switch back into Ivysaur to try and get a status, and oh my gosh, that was way too close. So what we do is we switch out to Butterfree to go ahead and clean up, and we get through this fight deathless. Now, I wish I had game audio for this next part, but I don't. Just watch and learn. Thoughts, anyone? Next is Erica, and you know exactly what's about to go down right here. Next is the Lavender Town rival fight, but you know, we're a bit higher leveled than him, so this should be easier than normal. So we start off with Graveler to wall Pidgeotto, and we get a chain kill into Charmeleon with rollouts. Rockbread did not want to stop, so he wanted to execute Gone, and he got rid of him, alright. Next is Kadabra, who disables our rollouts, meaning we can't use it anymore. So we pivot into Flareon, and even through an accuracy drop, we use Flamethrower and it hits, which kills. And last but not least, sorry for the last one, this is the last Pokemon, Gyarados. Comes in and intimidates us, and we come in with a sadly does not get the KO, but we are able to take him out next turn. He actually took himself out. And that's Tower rival fight done. Next we prepare for the next rival fight, actually, which is in Silphco, which is right before Giovanni. So right here we evolve our Cubone, which we got from the tower, into Marowak, and hopefully this will be helpful for rival fight Silphco. Now it's time for Silphco rival fight, and this is where everything goes wrong. Alright, so the rival starts off with his newly evolved Pidgeot, and we have Marowak. Marowak has good defense, so I thought that we could basically just wall it, but after a successful headbutt, which barely does any damage, we get a Feather Dance, which means we do even less. I switch to Rock Bread, who takes a Wig Attack, very nice, and we go for rollouts, but we get Feather Danced again, which actually isn't horrible, but definitely not ideal. I probably should have had an Electric type for this matchup, but it's too late for that now, obviously. So we miss our first rollout, and we go for another chain, which actually does a lot more damage than I expected. You know, we're still tanking wing attacks out here like an absolute goat, and Rock Bread eventually finishes off Pidgeot. After this is Execute, which we try and chain kill with rollouts, but sadly that's not happening and we get stun spored, which is not a good thing, obviously. So we try and hit through Confusion, even though we just got hit through Confusion. Okay. Sure, I definitely had a bunch of safe pivots there, but yeah, that's just my fault. I'm looking back on this, and it's a horrible play, but we take in Flareon and get the revenge kill on Execute. Next is Zame, who goes for a Calm Mind, and I thought that it would be most smart if we take Pancake and use a Hyper Beam, which also gets a kill, which crit might have mattered, I'm not sure. Next is Gyarados, and I still don't know if this Gyarados is a water move because for some reason I didn't check. So I stayed in knowing that we would still live one, I had to stay in my fault. Okay, so then I switched to Bread here on a Dragon Rage, which was definitely not helpful. Here I go for a Sleep Powder, which is definitely very nice here, and I want some residual healing, which was not a good idea. I should have went for a Razor Leaf for sure, but we still get the kill with lots of health left. And next out is his final Pokemon, Charizard. And this thing, Flash Fire allows us to take no damage, but the next move takes us down very low. I went for Hyper Beam. This was not a good idea. Wing Attack takes the KO on Pancake. We switch out to Buns, and we try to get a Hyper Fang off, which did not get the KO. And this leads to our next close death, but not death. Marowak comes in clutch and gets the KO. But that was not a good rival fight. We're down 2 teammates, including my favorite one, and we still have Giovanni left to go. Here we catch a Lapras, and I tried to, manifest the destiny of this fight, but let's see how that works out. So we start the fight off with Venusaur for some reason, and we go for a Leech Seed, but sadly Horn Attack does out damage it by a little bit, but we still obviously get a decent bit of healing left, and we also put it to sleep because we need multiple healing, and after a bit we just take it out. I actually brought in Marowak to take in the final kill to help for a better matchup against Nexamon, which is Kangaskhan's ace. So here we go for a Boomerang. Rage doesn't do much. We do Power Rage here with Boomerang 2 times, I believe, which is not great, and the damage is even worse. So what I decide to do here is we go for another move. We go for Bone Club, and Kangaskhan goes for a Mega Punch. I don't know what my head calcs were thinking. Yeah, we don't survive. So that's great. And not only that, I'm extremely underleveled, and I didn't want to prepare for this fight. And when I say extremely, I mean mostly my Lapras and my Hero. Next, we Thunderwave the thing, which I probably should have just gone for 2-shot damage, but we get lucky and it gets paralyzed this turn. Next, for some reason in my mind, I decided to switch into Beedrill. This was not a good decision, but luckily it goes for Rage, so we live one. Here, I believe what we do is we try and switch out, and I believe we switch out into Venusaur. So what I'm thinking here is, I'm sure we can outdamage this thing, and maybe Paralysis can help us. So, you know, I go for a Razor Leaf from the first turn, and the Venusaur's out, and, you know, they go for Tail Whip, because they didn't see kill without crit, which makes sense. And for some reason, I don't know if this was a misclick or what, I went for another Razor Leaf. And I just watch. God damn, we hurt me harder than the charges on this one, bro. Dog, it might be over. But, I'm gonna try my hardest to, you know, salvage all that I can. So we go for a Hyper Fang with Dokey, and we somehow get a flinch, and thankfully we have Quick Attack to clean up. I just want you guys to remember, Giovanni still has 2 more Pokemon. So, right here, I try and switch, just avoiding what is going to come. But I realize my mistake, and I just go for damage, which gets a poison point, which unlucky, and this thing has double kick. And when I say this thing barely didn't get a roll, it barely didn't get the roll. But it doesn't matter because of poison. My luck is amazing. My luck is amazing. And from here, I have an underleveled Lapras and 2 Pokemon that are also underleveled and can't do much damage. So we send in Lapras, and it takes a double kick, surprisingly, even with the 16 level disadvantage, and we go for Parashot. Yeah, it's over. It's over. You know, I try and do some pivots, but through pivots come some unwanted damage, and I just want to let y'all see the rest of this fight play out.